Hello, I'm Wendy Markert, and I designed this PVS Algebra 2 course. I may be your instructor for this course. I wanted to create this video to help you learn to navigate through the course and to help you see how it's organized. So when you enter the course, you usually enter onto this home page, which just kind of gives you a brief synopsis of what Algebra 2 is about, or at least the second semester, since we're on the second semester course right now. Over here on the left, you can see the menu items. We're on Home. There's an Instructor Information tab, which you can click on and get information about your instructor, who they are, their email, their phone number, how to contact them, when their office hours may be, announcements, if your instructor has posted announcements, modules, this is where we'll access the actual material in the course, grades, so that you can click on it to see your grades, the Star Algebra 2 reference material, which has a reference sheet which may have some helpful formulas. Calculators. You can use this if you need to access the Desmos calculators that will be used in this course. And then class notebook and Kami. Kami will be used for a couple of assignments and may be useful for other things as well. So you can't see it over here on the left for mine because I'm not an actual student in the course, but let me pull up. Here you can see that over here on the left, underneath courses, you can see groups. So maybe not at the very beginning when you first start the course, but eventually your instructor will assign you to a group for your group or partner project. And when they do that, you should be able to see that groups icon. And then when you click on that, you should be able to go to groups and see these. So here, if you click on people, you would be able to see who the people are in your group. Announcements would be group announcements. Pages would be pages in the group where you could share things. Discussions would allow group members to discuss things among each other. Files, you could exchange files, but so groups would allow you to work on projects together. All right, trying to move this back. All right, so let's go in to look at the material and how it's organized. Okay, so I clicked into modules. There is a getting started module in each of the courses. Let's look at the actual units in the second semester of Algebra 2. So Unit 5 is polynomial functions. Unit 6, we've got radical expressions and equations. Unit 7, we've got rational functions. Unit 8, rational, oops, sorry, not there yet. Unit 8, exponential and logarithmic functions. In the second semester course, the group project comes separate and it's after Unit 8. And then we have our review and final exam. So let's go up to Unit 5 to actually dig into it and look at what a unit looks like and how it's organized. So if we go in, you will see an overview of what's covered in that particular unit. We can navigate to the next item by clicking the next button. So each module or unit begins with an introduction activity. Sometimes it's a Desmos activity. It might be a discussion board activity. It might be something else, but every unit has its own introduction activity. So in In Unit 5, here we have 5.1, which gives an overview of this section of Unit 5, what's being learned, how you'll learn it, the activities in there. We can see we had the introduction activity. We've got a journal, which is an explore activity. We've got a lesson, a practice using Delta Math. We've got a lesson, another Delta Math practice. And then in My Open Math, we've got a quiz. So a lot of our activities in this course for math practice will be using Delta Math, My Open Math. Sometimes, occasionally, there'll be something actually coded into Canvas. So here is our journal, which is our explore activity. We see a journal prompt, and then you would create a journal post. We see our rubric. So here is our first lesson. All of our lessons are in soft chalk. Oh, and some of the explore activities, instead of being separate like that journal activity was, some of them are actually embedded in these soft chalk lessons. So sometimes you might not see a separate explore activity. So in soft chalk, you'll have the learning piece. A lot of times there's videos involved. Most of the time there are videos involved, and there'll be check for understanding questions in here as well. Sometimes, though, it gets a little crowded and you can't read everything in the question, or some of the words in the paragraphs might extend over here into this blue section where the contents menu is. If that happens, you can help the spacing by closing that menu by clicking on this, and then it opens it up and gives you more space. So just be aware of that. So especially some of the activities which require you to label things, you will need to close this to give yourself more space. For some of the sorting activities, you will also need to close it to give you more space. But if you are having difficulty, again, reach out to your instructor and ask them questions. So you'll go through and answer questions. At the end, you'll check your answers. You should have to click to finish at the end to make sure it syncs with the grade book. And then we can go on to our next activity. Here we would have a practice. Now it's not set up to sync here yet for me, and I'm not a student, but you would see the Delta Math load directly here into Canvas. You may be required to enter your student ID number, but it will load directly here into Canvas. Then I have another lesson, another practice, which will load. Again, this is not set up yet because I'm not a student. Now we've got this link to My Open Math, and you can see what it looks like as the linking. You would press start, and it's right here in Canvas. You don't need to complete it all in one sitting. It should save where you leave off so that if you need to stop and then come back and start it again, you can. Clicking next, it goes to the next section where it does give you an overview of what's going on in this section with the activities here as well. And it will continue through that. So I'm going to click on modules so that we can also go back out and look at what else is there. That is also like a way if you were to come back into the course, you could click on modules to go back to where you left off. At the end, there'll be information about the test. There is a practice test at the end of every module, and you need to score a certain percentage in order to take the actual unit test. And then there is a place for you to upload your work for the test because my Open Math does not usually give you partial credit. So if you write down your work or take screenshots of what you're putting in the Desmos calculator for those types of problems, your teacher can give you partial credit in my Open Math for what you're showing. Looking to see if there's something else I need to make sure I talk about with you. I think I've talked about everything I need to in order to navigate through the Canvas course. But just remember, if you have questions or if you get stuck along the way, reach out to your teacher, your instructor, ask them questions. You're not here in this class by yourself, so we don't want you to be confused. So ask plenty of questions. We never get tired of questions. We want you to know what you're doing. So thank you. Hope you enjoy the course. I hope you learn a lot from it.